Okay, are we on the air? Let me check. Yeah, good. Sometimes I hit the button, but not hard enough, and it doesn't record. And I don't want to be sitting here talking with nothing running. But this is my 100th video on YouTube. And I want it to be serious. Ow! Ah! So I'm going to talk about labels. If we as human beings insist upon defining ourselves solely on the basis of the color of our skin, or our political, ideological opinions, or our sexual orientation, or, you know what I'm saying? If you define yourself solely on that criteria, you limit yourself. And if you label and limit yourself, you're going to label others and limit them to stereotypes. And that's wrong. It's wrong. It shouldn't be done, ever, for anything. You define yourself first and foremost on the fact that you are a unique individual human being. There is nobody else on earth exactly like you. And that's what you should be proud of. And that's what you should emphasize on. Now, naturally, none of us are going to agree on everything. What a boring world that would be if this were the case. It would be, yeah, I don't even want to think about it. But if you're going to give in to the herd instinct and flock together with other people who share your opinion on just one subject, then sooner or later you're going to find yourselves coming up against another group of people who feel the exact opposite about that same subject. And what do you get when you have Group A and Group B disagreeing? You get a war. We have had enough fighting, squabbling. Hatred is evil. Period. But here's the thing. Okay, most of us are in agreement that, say, racism is wrong, you know? I mean, you can't look down on others just because they look different from you, they have a different language background than you. That's idiotic. But at the same time, if you pride yourself on something as trivial as that, isn't that just as bad as judging others because they're different? I'm going to take one topic right now and discuss that. And I know I have friends who have been pushing this in public, you know, telling everyone that they believe everyone has the right to marry, regardless of what gender, you know, their partners are. You know what I'm saying, you know. And now love is love no matter what, as far as I'm concerned. But it's none of my business. It's none of their business. It's none of your business what someone else's personal life is like. And if you go and make your personal life a political issue, that's wrong too. And any arguments in favor of this are, to my mind anyway, and this is just my opinion, they're kind of specious. Why, for example, are certain members of the gay lesbian community, you know, and they're right there. There I said it, the gay lesbian community. That's a label. Are they defined solely by their sexual orientation? No. Those are all individual human beings. They're all unique. And they should act like it. Be themselves. And don't worry about what others think. The laws are going to come forward and progress sooner or later anyway, but we should not make a big deal about it. What's so important about marriage anyway? Two people get married, any two people at all. Man and woman, two men, two women, any couple getting married, there's a 50-50 chance they could get divorced. And that's another thing I would like to touch on. Now, that's a totally different subject, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the couple is more important than any license that church or state can give them. Do you know, in the old days, if two people wanted to get married, they could just walk into a church by themselves, no priest, no witnesses, and say their vows. And they were married in the eyes of the law of that time. That was English common law back in the good old days. And it worked. So, what's wrong with common law? You know? Common law makes sense. So, when we try to push through these laws, that's another problem that we're setting up for ourselves, because the more laws a country has, the less justice it will enjoy. Government has too much power already. It's time to whittle that down. It's time to break ourselves free from this mindset that we need to group together and make our voices heard, when we could accomplish pretty much the same goals by simply minding our own business and being ourselves, and not worrying about any other consideration. Does this sound like an oversimplification? Well, I think life should be simpler. It's as simple as that. I think we should do away with institutions like insurance companies and, you know, shit like that. We've set ourselves up so many hurdles and mazes to go through, and red freaking tape. It's sickening. And we need to break free of that too. What else was I going to say? I wrote down some notes. Yeah, that's okay. I covered that. Okay. It's all a state of mind. There is no good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. Shakespeare has so much, or whoever wrote those plays, has so much wisdom to offer us in terms of how we perceive life. And Hamlet, you know, Hamlet expressed some of those thoughts so beautifully. There's a few good lines in Macbeth, too. Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. That's a good one. You know, it's all in our mind. It's all in our minds. If we look at a situation or a problem and exaggerate it in our own minds, make it blacker than it really is, of course we're going to suffer. But it's all a matter of choice. I mean, okay, look at this fiscal cliff that everybody rants and raves about. The national debt, the deficit, you know, how many trillions of dollars. Who do we owe this money to? To whom do we owe all this money? There isn't that much money printed in the world. Money is an illusion. Money is only valuable because we think it is. I love going shopping because I want something. Okay, like say a nice big crystal ball, to take an example. Okay, so I get online and I find that they're selling this big ass crystal ball for like, $50 or whatever. And I use my debit card. I just type in a number on the computer and let them have it. And in return for that number, they send me a precious object. It's like I got it for free as far as I'm concerned. Thank you. And what do they get out of it? Well, they get those numbers, which they can then spend and get things that they need or want. So, okay. Now, on that level, money works. And it works fine. But when you get into these astronomical figures, and there isn't even a real person knocking on the door saying, "You owe me $47 trillion." If any human being came up to your door and told you that, you'd punch him in the face, wouldn't you? So, why does everybody panic over the so-called national debt? It doesn't exist. It's not real, people. It's not real. But those who believe it is get all uptight, and then they rack up some numbers on the Dow Jones, and the Dow Jones goes up or down, and it upsets everybody else, and prices go up, and people bitch, and we're just kicking ourselves in the ass. And we need to stop doing that, too. We need to start taking life easy, like I do. I don't care about anything. So why am I ranting? Oh, shit. I just painted myself into a corner. I think that's a good time to end this rant, so please express yourselves in the comments, and feel free to disagree with me. I know you're wrong, but go ahead, disagree with me. Just let's not get angry about it. There's no reason to get angry. Except I would like to see us stop limiting ourselves. Stop putting labels across our foreheads or on the foreheads of others. And treat each other the way we want to be treated, Like persons of value, which we all are, regardless. Thank you.